Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning. Well, no, I got to say it right. Hi, peoples.
Hi, peoples. That's right. Peoples and hugs.
Right, peoples and hugs.
I love it when I come into a chat or if Jerry comes into a chat and I say hi, he's like, good morning, hugs, Susanna. And I'm like, oh, all is good in the world. I got
It
my.
is? Nah, I don't know about that part. Oh, that's right. You told me don't be sarcastic today.
No, I told him no sarcastic. He needs to take his sarcasm and shove it up where the sun don't shine. Because you know how Jerry is. Jerry's like everyone line. He's got a one-liner for everything. Oh my God! So, how's the weather down in Florida?
We are at like about 60 something degrees right now.
Oh, that's
But
cold
in
for you
about
guys.
like another hour or so, it'll hit into the 70s.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
Yeah,
yeah. So
good, good.
that's why we like it down here. We don't have to deal with that freezing cold and the snow. You know, 50 some odd years of playing with that stuff is enough.
It's enough. Enough.
It's enough. It's enough to say, yep, okay, nope, we're going to be here where it's nice and warm. You throw on a sweatshirt or something, you go outside in the morning and you're good.
It's funny how like different people. Because I know I like the cold. I can breathe better in a cold than I can in the heat because the humidity and the heat weighs me down. But some people just love the heat, and
Well,
that's
that's
like,
like me. I'm, I mean, 100 degrees and plus is fine for me.
oh my God, no.
Yeah, the wife hates it when we go to the Philippines to go visit her family, and we're all sitting there on the jitney, which is like an open air bus, and they're there with their little cloths and all that, and they're all, and I'm like this, and they look at me, and I'm like, what? And they're like, why don't you sweat? And I'm like, because it's not hot. It's
Oh
like,
my
we hate
God,
you.
no. I think God is 99.99 perfect. He did everything perfect, except,
Until he made me. Yep.
no, except for one little thing, and that he should have had a switch on us that if we're cold, we get warm. We just turn it on. Or if we're too hot, we turn on an AC in our body. That's it. That's all we needed. All right, let's say good morning to some people that are in the house.
I see Rhonda.
First one here, we see Ashley. Good morning, Ashley.
Morning,
Hello,
everybody.
everyone.
Morning, morning.
And guys, right now, if you want to drop your links, I'm sure you don't need to, but if you want to, that's perfectly fine. Because you can also click on everyone's name and then you can go straight there to subscribe to everyone. So that's the option there. And if you don't have it, click, get the link. Next one we have in the house is our beautiful Darlene. Good morning, Darlene.
Good luck at the doctors.
That's right. You're going to the doctor's today. You're going to go have your test. Praying for you, honey. Absolutely. And be careful. Make sure you dress warm out there.
Thank
And
you
then
for
we
dropping
have
the link, Rhonda.
my beautiful, beautiful Bonnie, my sweet soul. I love you. My motivator. And then we have Anna. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, honey. How are you? And then we have just me, Kathy, my angel. Good morning, my love. Mwah. Good morning. And then we have Danny May. Good morning, Danny May. How are you, honey? Mwah. Your show was funny yesterday. That you haven't seen it, you need to go watch Danny May's show with Copper State Lisa. So funny. Who else? Oh my God. My shadow woman, my Rhonda. Good morning, honey. I hope you're feeling much better this morning. You got to kick it, honey. Mwah. I love you. And thank you. Who else do we have? We got New England Thrifter. Hey, Helen. Good morning, honey. How are you?
Drive safe.
You must be cold, just like us. Yes, be careful. Make sure you have your seatbelt on. I'm not going through everybody's things, but yes, Wolf, and then just me, Darlene. All right, we got everybody so far. So we have 13 in the house. Let's see if we can get up to like 20 so we can start everything. So,
Drinking.
A lot to cover with you.
Gee, that don't sound good. You got a lot to cover.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover with you.
It's only because I'm old. There's a lot to cover.
No, it's because, everyone lives an exciting life. Some people get to do a lot more than others. And I think that you have a lot to bring to the table and a lot to teach us. So, someone young like me,
I'm going to be quiet.
someone young like me needs to listen to her elders.
Oh, that's even worse. Now the sarcastic's going to come out now.
Did you see? I wanted you to stop your sarcasm so I could bring mine out.
Yeah, yeah. Woman's prerogative, I guess. Okay.
No, absolutely not. It goes two ways here. Two ways.
Well,
Oh
I don't
my
go both
goodness.
ways. Thank you very much.
Me either.
Well,
Thank
you just
you.
said it goes two ways, so.
I mean, everyone has a voice. Who do we have here? The cap guy. Hey, Bobby. Did his interview, not last Friday, the Friday before. And amazing. If you have not watched it, you need to
Did
go
we
back.
say hi to just me, Kathy?
Of course I did.
I'm just making sure.
Did you say hi?
I said hi to everybody.
You said hi to everybody?
Yeah, remember when I said hi, peoples?
He does the blanket. Hi, peoples.
Well, it makes life easy instead of, it's like walking through a crowd. You say, hello, 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 hello. It's like, really? Just come in. Hi, everyone.
That's like, yeah, and I know I'm going there right now, but that's like going to a funeral, right? Or a wake. And then you have to, like, if the people have like amounts of kids, it's like, what do you say? Like, it's like my sympathies, my sympathies, my
I
sympathies.
say it's better him than me.
Oh, Emville, I haven't seen you since 1972. I've been worried about you. Where you been? You need to be here every time I'm on, or else I'm going to hold you hostage. Mwah, my Emville.
Kinky to me, but
Is this Mr. Jim or Miss Joni? Because either one I love, and thank you for being here. Mwah. Good morning. Alrighty. You're like, LOL. Yeah. You still haven't told me where you've been.
hiding from you.
I think so. I think they all do, so that way they don't have to get yelled at, right? Oh my God. All right. So, everyone, we have Jerry here with us, the Wolf's Den, aka Wolf Toy.
Yep, that's because my son, when he redid the channel, he changed the name.
He changed the
Why'd
name.
you change the name? He said, well, because your logo says the Wolf. I said, that's for when we do the shows. Oh, you want me to change it back? I said, no, leave it there. Who cares?
Oh. Hey, Vintage Vagabond, how are you? Good morning. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Philly Flipper Paul, my blue eye. Hey, how are you? Haven't seen you in a cold, hot minute since 1972. So let's see. We're still at 15, which is amazing because I appreciate every single soul that's in here.
I'm surprised all you people are braving to come in here just to listen to me.
Look at the look.
I can't see it. All that smoke in the way.
There's no smoke. There's coffee.
It's steaming.
All right. So, Jerry, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
Born in a hospital next to my mother because I wanted to be close to her. I had to. You opened up the door on that one. I was born in New Bedford, Mass.
New Bedford, Massachusetts. Very close to me.
No, you weren't there.
No.
No.
What year were you born?
Do I have to say? 1960.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. So that makes me an old person.
No, it doesn't make you an old person. So, did you grow up in New Bedford, Massachusetts?
For about 17 years.
So you went through school and high school there.
Yep.
Very nice. And you lived with your parents and your siblings?
Let's just say yes, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
I should have said that's the only subject I won't talk about.
Okay. So
I
what
didn't
did
know you were going to go into that part.
what did you do after, because apparently you went to high school. What did you do after high school?
After high school, I did a lot of things. Let's see. I went on a fishing boat for 2.5 years. I did that. I did long lining, which was we went up and down the East Coast in the Gulf of Mexico for swordfish and tuna. I did that. And then for a half a year, I was on a shrimp boat, and we did that all over the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So did that. And then I was in college for 2.5 years. I was doing theater there in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, wow. In Salem, Massachusetts, you did theater.
Yep. And
That is
I was
so
living in
cool.
Salem at the time too.
I didn't know that you did theater.
Yes, I did theater. I even did what was it? How many plays did I work on? I worked on, I think it was 9 plays. And I also got hired by the local church that wanted to put on a play, and I helped direct it and do all the lighting for it.
Oh, very nice. So you
I got the
directed.
program somewhere that has my name in it and all that. So
Very cool. So you did a lot of the work, and also you were an actor.
no, I wasn't an actor. I did a lot of the stage building, the setup for lighting, and whatever else they needed. That's what
Oh,
they liked about me, was that they were like, "Hey, we need something." I'd be like, "Okay," and I go off and go do it. And it's like, "All right, well, we need something." Okay, and go off and go do that. Because
oh,
when I get into something, especially if I like it, I want to know everything about it. So this way, if I'm not going to be doing this thing, like let's say like setting up lights, they say, "Well, how about if you make the props?" Okay, I'll go make props. Oh, how about, you help us change scenery? It's like whatever. It's like this way I'm always there on set.
nice. So
And
after
it worked
that,
out because I came home one time, uh, and we were going through the center of Salem, and they were filming a movie there. So I ended up hanging around. I hung around the set. I went to the set every day after school and everything. And when I went to ask some of the celebrities for autographs, one of them, she said, "I've seen you hanging around all the time." And I told her, "Well, I'm learning this and all that." So she ended up bringing me on set. I mean, on actual set. I got to stand next to the director while they were filming when nobody else was allowed on set and everything. So I got to do all that. Like when they were filming in the cemetery late at night and everything, I was there with them. And so I got to see that side, and that made me love it even more because I was like, "Oh, yeah, this is cool. This is what I like."
oh, that's so
So
cool. So after that, after Salem and being there in school, and you did the theater, what else? What was your next step in life?
after that, I ended up, for the fun of it, I took a free course that they were given at, the city was doing a thing that they would teach you how to run electrical lines, cable lines, phone lines. So I wasn't doing anything. They were paying you $25 a week to go learn it. So I was like, fine, I'm sitting around. I'll go do that. So I ended up doing that. And then about 3/4 of the way through the class, they started calling people for interviews for jobs.
Mhm.
And they said, "Well, you should go on the interview. So this way you learn how to do the interview and all that." And all of a sudden, one day, Brown University from Providence wanted 2 people to interview. Well, because we can't count because we're from New Bedford and we're Portuguese, we 8 of us went, and I was the 8th person. So we went for the interviews. And so I sat there and they interviewed me. I was the last one they interviewed. And it was like, okay. And we drove back to the school. when I got back to the school, the teacher came up to me and says, "All right, you go to work on Monday." And I looked, I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" She says, "Yeah, they hired you." I'm like, "What?" So I ended up working at Brown University, pulling their cable lines, their phone lines, and
Oh, wow.
all that stuff, and did that for about, I think it was like a year and a half. And
Hmm.
I left that because I ended up taking the test to be a custodian for the school department. And then I got hired from Lynn, Mass, and went up there and then did that. And in between doing all that, I was also doing the conventions.
Oh, you were still doing the convention.
I,
So,
I was doing the convention since I was like about 14 years old.
okay, so you like we totally skipped that part of it.
Well, like it was like in between everything else because back then they did conventions in Boston called Boston Sunday Funnies, which was once a month because there were no stores back then like you have now. And nobody really said, "Hey, I'm going to sell this to you." And the only way you can get your stuff that you wanted, the comics that you missed, because comics were only available at pharmacies on their, they either had the comic rack or they had a big book rack that had all the other magazines and everything, and that's how you get your comics.
Hmm.
But if you missed out, the only way you can get them is either somebody else you knew had it, or you went to, in our area it was Boston Sunday Funnies, which was once a month. So I wasn't old enough to buy the tables, but my brother did because he was older than me. So he would buy the table and work the show with me. And I would have, 6, 12, 18 feet worth of tables. And I would, because I was doing non sport cards back then, like Lost in Space, Batman, Dark
Hmm.
Shadows, because that's what I used to collect and sell. So I would bring all my singles and my sets and put them out there and sell them once a month, and that was it. And then the bigger shows came along, and next thing you know, I started knowing the people that ran them, and like one of them was a company called Creation, which was big for doing Star Trek shows. They would bring in the different
Hmm.
stars from Star Trek and all that to different towns, and it got to the point that when they came into Boston, either like on a Wednesday or a Thursday, they would call me up and say, "What are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "What do you want?" And they're like, "Oh, come on down to the show if you're not doing nothing." So then I'd show up, and either I'd end up being security for, like, let's say William Shatner or whoever, and that was my job for the weekend. Or they would say, "We need you to watch these doors over here," or to, keep an eye on people, make sure that they got their passes and
Hmm.
whatever it was that they needed me for. So if I wasn't working the show, with a table, they had me working the show as, like I said, like I would be like Jimmy Doings, who played Scotty. I'd be his security for the whole weekend. So it's
Hmm.
like bring him from the room down to the show, and then from the show back to, wherever he's going to go sign. And so it just got to the point that that's what I would end up doing. And I mean, it was nice because I got to meet a lot of people that way,
Yeah.
celebrity wise.
So let me backtrack here. How did you exactly, at such a young age, get into the comics and then going to sell? Like who helped you with that, or did anyone help you?
No, just me. What happened was when you're a kid, you get your allowance, you run to the store, you buy your candy, your cards, whatever. And a lot of other kids were buying football cards and all that. I was buying Dark Shadows, Rat Patrol, and we would try to make sets. And then you would play with your friends. You'd play leaners or flips, so you can get the cards so you can make your set.
Hmm.
Well, all of a sudden, I found out one time that when I had enough money to buy a whole box, which was awful fun because you ate all that gum. You just stick it all, 36 packs of gum into your mouth. It's like, it's like, okay, you know. But I found that back then, if the set was only like, let's say 60 cards in the set, if you bought a whole box, you usually got like 2 to 3 sets out of the box. So what I ended up doing is I would take one set, keep it for me, And to make my set free, I would sell off the other sets to my friends. So now my set became free. It paid for the box and everything. But then you end up with like a stack of like cards that much. So you're like, well, that's not a lot. Well, you say, okay, so here's Dark Shadows, here's Rat Patrol, here's Lost in Space, here's the Monsters. Next thing you know, you got a stack this big, and you're like,
Mhm.
what am I going to do with all these cards? And that's when found out about Boston Sunday Funnies in the 70s. It was like, oh, I can bring this stuff to the shows and sell them off.
Now,
And
you being so young, who would bring you there?
it was my cousin. We would load up everything in his car, and he would drop us off, and then come back at the end of the day and pick
And
us
pick
up.
you guys up.
Yeah.
Very
And I
cool.
mean, he'd like hang around Boston, and do whatever it was he was doing, but then he'd come back at around 5 o'clock, and we'd pack the stuff up and go back home.
But just at that age to know that, if you take this set out for you, you still have all these other sets. At that age, you knew that you could make that money to make
Yeah,
up get your own free set.
yeah,
So that was pretty cool. I
yeah,
mean, you were a little shyster even in your younger years.
yep. Well, I mean, this is what everybody wants to do. They want to be able to pick up, let me see, like a whole box of these,
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh yeah, it cost me $30 for the whole box. Well, I want to keep one for me, but I want mine to not cost me $30.
Right.
So if I can sell off the other 11 and make my $30 and then some, well, now I can turn around and say, this is free, that's free, that's free, and it's nice to be able to turn around and say that you
Mm-hmm.
can say, that cost me nothing, it's free. It's like in a sense, like with the dumpster divers today, they go jumping in, they're getting all that stuff for free, and whatever they're making off of it, that's pure profit, which is the nice thing to do.
Right.
But I did that back in the day. I used to go to Channel 6
Mm-hmm.
because they had a studio that was between my house and the downtown area in New
Of New
Bedford.
Bedford. New Bedford.
And I used to walk from my house to the downtown area, which was like a good half an hour away or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to jump into their dumpster, and I would get film reels and all that stuff till they finally put locks on it because they didn't want me diving in the dumpster anymore, So, which is,
So,
but back then that's what happened.
well, so let's jump forward. So we left off that you went into Brown University, and then
School
you
department.
moved back to Lynn, and then you were doing security, and then that's when you would do
At the shows.
at the shows. How did you get into? Because I know that you were in wrestling as well.
Yeah, I did that for about 7 months. We
You
were
did
with a local promotion. I should have pulled out the pictures. It has me with blonde hair and a wolf tattoo on my shoulder and everything, so.
Now, were you ever a fighter?
I just helped. I would help them set up the rings and everything. But every once in a while, we would, like when WWF, when they came in, that's what they were called back then, and not WWE. But when they used to come into the area, sometimes they would hire the local people to either be talent on the show or set up or whatever. So a couple of times I got called into Boston Garden, and I would do stuff. So I got to meet a bunch of the wrestlers, and then we'd get to talking. And their routine used to be after the Boston Garden show on Sunday morning, they would go to the IHOP in Revere, because then right down the road was a gym for them to work out at. So they would say, oh, come by the IHOP in the morning. And so then I took my ex-girlfriend at the time one time after we went and saw the show. And so I said, you like that? She's like, yeah, it wasn't bad. And everything. I said, okay. So then came the next morning. I'm like, okay, we're going to go to IHOP and go have breakfast. And there's a bunch of, they're like, hey. And it's like, she's like, what the, it's like, yeah. So we ended up being with them, having breakfast with them a few times.
Nice. No.
And then it turned out that later on, what it would be is that Saturday nights, they would end up going down Route 1 to a place called Kowloon's.
Kowloon's.
and that's where they would go eat after the show. So my son's best friend loves wrestling, and he was like, "Oh, I would like to meet so and so." And so I went up to him and I said, "Thomas, you want to meet Randy Orton and all that?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I told his parents, I says, "After the show, don't come home," because they brought him to the show there. I said, "Go to Kowloon's." They said, "Well, we don't want Chinese." I said, "You're not going there for Chinese. Just go to Kowloon's and wait near the door."
Mm-hmm.
Came like a day or two later, like, "Oh my God, all these wrestlers showed up and he was all happy." And I'm like, "How did you know that?" I says, "Because I know what they do." I says, "I know their routine. I've dealt with them. They go here and they do this." So,
Okay, so after that, right? At what age would you say that is already?
which part? I was already, doing the shows with creation and all that. I was already like in my 20s.
In your 20s.
So, like I said, I this is my 46th year now doing shows.
When
Like a
did you
full
get married?
what?
When did you get married?
17 years ago.
17 years ago. Were
I
you
was too
ever
busy
married?
running around doing stuff.
So you
I
were
was
never
traveling.
married.
What?
You were never married before.
Nope.
So this is your first marriage.
Yep. First and only.
How many children do you have?
Just one that I know of.
One that he knows of. Oh my.
Well, none that have come up to me and said, "Hi, Daddy," except for my son. So,
Oh, that's good. That's a good thing.
yeah, because it means the wife doesn't kill me.
So let me ask you a question. How do you cope with feeling uncomfortable?
Depends on the situation. If it's like if I'm invited to, let's say, a big party with people, and I don't know, say 98% of them, I'll just go around, say hi, then I go off to my own little area, and that's it. And contrary to popular belief, no, I don't go around tooting my own horn and everything. Like you're asking me these questions, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to answer them.
Right.
But like I've told people, like I said, I've met all these celebrities and everything. I mean, I've got like my big binder that's there that's filled with, all the people that I've met. But it'll sit there. You could be sitting here in the house, never bring it up, and I'm not going to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say, "Oh, can I see the binder?" I'll pull it out. But
Yeah.
if nothing ever comes, I'm not going to say, "Oh, yes, you look at me. Oh, I met these." It's like I'm so used to these people that they are just that. It's like me and you talking. It's nothing. It's like, "Oh my God, it's so and so." Like I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, she used to write for a rock magazine and work on a radio station in Greece. She came here one summer. It was a working thing that she did. I drove her up and down the East Coast for 2.5 months. We went to, I believe it was like 18 concerts because the radio station paid for it. We went up and down. We saw like David Bowie, Paul McCartney, Bonnie Raitt, Fleetwood Mac. All I had to do was just drive her back and forth, which I was like, "I'm fine. I don't care. Get in the car. We'll go driving." The wife hates that, especially when we lived in Massachusetts and my friends too, because I would just get in the car and drive, especially with a full tank of gas. Like one time I was almost at the New York border and I called up my friend and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, wait a minute. Where are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm like an hour from your house. You home?" He's like, "Get the hell out of you. Just got in the car and drove." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just do that." But anyway, so we were doing that and we stopped in New York to pick up some tickets at CBS Studios. And she said, "Would you mind waiting outside while I get the tickets?" I said, "I don't care. Go ahead." So she went in and I'm standing there on the sidewalk. All of a sudden I turn around and who's standing there? Robert Redford.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at him and he gave that look like he knows who I am. But I just said hi. And he said, "Hi." I said, "How's it going?" He says, "Not too bad." He says, "How you doing?" And we just had a conversation for like about 5, 6 minutes. And then his car pulled up. He got in. And just as he was leaving, my friend, she come out and she looked, she says, "Who is that?" I said, oh, that's Robert Redford. She says, that was Robert Redford. Did you get his autograph? I said, no. She says, why not? I said, why? She said, what were you doing? I said, we were just talking. It's like, to me, they're just people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already gotten to that point that when I meet these people, I just say, hi, how you doing? Whatever. And they're like, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like Robert Englund, who plays Freddy. He's like, well, you know who I am? I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. So I guess you want an autograph. And I said, no. He says, no. He says, no, I don't care. And
So let's get back on track here. What makes you most alive? What gives you the most feeling of you being alive?
having fun. If I'm doing something and we're all having fun, then that's fine. And it doesn't matter if it's something that I've done before, because it's like I used to bring, like if you came to visit me when I was still in Linden, all you said, oh, I want to go to Boston, never been to Boston. I'll bring you all around Boston, show you all the sights. My friends will say, how can you do that and see that? I said, well, first of all, I'm with somebody else. I'm not by myself. So there'll be some places that I'm not going to go to that they're going to want to stop in. Like if we go down Newberry Street, I'm going to pass by all the clothing stores and all that. But you might say, oh, can we go in here? I'll say, go in whatever store you want. Let's go. And we go in. So I see it through a new set of eyes, and I see how happy you are. So that makes me happy because then we have fun. And it's like, yeah, and then you'll be like, you do this every week? And I'm like, yeah, once a Saturday I come into Boston and I'm here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I get home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I
So
just run around
basically,
Boston for the day.
basically what you're saying is what makes you feel alive is seeing someone else happy.
Well, that's part of it. And like I said, I mean, I can go off and go do stuff on my own and be like, yeah, this is fun. And, I'm happy.
So
You know,
what is the one thing that you've had that you would say this is like the epic day for Jerry? What would Jerry think is the most epic day just for you?
going someplace new. Every
Some,
time it's someplace new, it's it's like, ooh, what are we gonna see? What are we gonna do? And I mean, like, I've been to 35 states and 9 countries so far. So I'd like to add Japan onto that. The wife is afraid because she knows how much I'm going to spend when I go over there because of this guy. Just to buy all the and just to see Japan and everything. I want to do Japan. I want to do Australia, but we were actually 2 years ago. We were supposed to do. I think it was a five continent tour. We were supposed to do England, France, Germany, Belgium, and Netherlands. Yeah, we were supposed to do all those five. We were supposed to do one big, but COVID put a kibosh to that.
do you think you're brave?
To an extent, everybody has, their part where they're going to say, I'm not going to do that. I mean, like going on like rides and all that, or like when you see like going on the Grand Canyon and they got that big glass thing and you
Hmm.
get to and you stand out. I'll do that. I'll be like, yeah, okay. And they, a lot of people are, no way am I doing it. And it's like, no, I'll go out there. What do I care? It's like, yeah,
But
okay.
if you see an obstacle in your life, right? Are
I
you
think
one
of
of
the
those?
best way to get around it, depending on what the obstacle is. If it's a person, I try the most to say I'm not gonna, hurt their feelings unless if they're a complete jerk. Then I'm like, I don't care, you can die, and I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But if it's someone that is just like, well, first I'll see if I can try to help, and then from there it's like, hey, I did my part, you're on your own, you know. It's like if someone asked me for advice, well, what should I do? Well, try this, try that, try this, try that. Oh, I don't want to do that. Then why'd you ask me? you know?
So would you say you're confrontational or not confrontational?
And once again, it would depend on the situation. Because sometimes, it's like someone will come up to me and say, oh, you're thinking, and it's like, what? Well, it's like, I would say, take a movie. I hate it when someone starts talking about a movie and gets it wrong. and tries to insist that it's right. Because my problem is, even though all those movies you see back there, I've seen them all. And even if I haven't seen it for a long time, the minute I pull the disc, I say, "Oh, I want to watch it." It flashes in my head, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I already know," and I put it back. But I have them because I can do all the behind the scenes stuff. That's what I like on the disc is all the when they talk about how they made it and
Hmm.
all that stuff. That's what I want. But if someone said, "Well, remember when he said this in the movie?" and I say, "He never said that." Yeah, he did. And I'm like, "No, he didn't." And they're like, "Yeah." And then I go and if you're here, I'll pull the movie out. I'll say, "Find it on the disc. Show it to me. Where did he say that?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I thought it was that." And I'm like, "Yeah, there you go." So, like I said, it depends on the
It
situation.
depends on the situation. So, what is most important to you? Status, power, or money?
None.
None.
No, I want to keep, first of all, it's keep the wife and the little guy happy, which my part is, you know, keeping a roof over their heads, making sure all the bills are paid, there's food in the house. They want to watch something on TV, they can watch, we're comfortable. I've never, even with doing all this, I said, I don't want to be a bazillionaire at all. I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to say, when I go on a trip, I don't have to worry about coming back and the lights aren't on, because you didn't pay the bill because you used that money to, go on the trip. So I'd rather just, I'm comfortable. And it's like, no, and I don't look at the power to say, oh, I'm going to hold this over you. And it's like, no, I'm like, that's a waste. You waste your time doing that because all it does is make people go away from you. And status is something that someone puts on you. Someone might say, he has a great life. And it's like, well, to some, yeah, it would be a great life. But you got to remember, I started this back in the day when a lot of this was easy. I mean, I remember going to shows and a lot of these celebrities would sign stuff for free. Now they're charging like $100 a piece, just to get an autograph, and you're like, well, gee, that sucks. Yeah, there you go, but see, that's the difference. I got in, like they say, on the ground floor. So it was easier for me to get in. And like I've said, I can do sometimes a better job at making money at a show because I have so much, whereas a lot of other people only have a little bit. I have a lot. So, of course, more people are going to gravitate towards my table. They're going to say, oh, we got to go see what Jerry has. And I've had a lot of dealers say that. They say, yeah, we got to come and see what you have at your table before the freaking show starts, to see what you got and what we're going to buy from you. And it's like, I don't care. Buy my stuff. Buy it all. I can go home early.
So, Jerry, what was an event in your life that has impacted you
I
throughout
would
your
say
life?
being on the movie sets. It showed that this is what I liked, and this is the way my life should have went had things tilted that way. If certain things had worked out and all that, that's the way it should have went. Not
So,
saying that, like I said, that I would be a big movie star. It's just that no, I'd be doing. It's like they say, you want to be doing what you like in life, so that way you're content.
so
You
what
know,
was that event that happened that your life didn't turn to that way, that road?
it was family issues,
Family issues.
and like I said, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. So, what qualities do you look for in others?
Well, saying you want them to be honest. So if someone says, "Hey, I don't like you," I'm like, "That's fine." You know, I've said it for years. Okay, you don't like me. One less birthday and Christmas card I got to worry about. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I've gone over that hump already. That if someone says I don't like you, okay, it is what it is. You're not going to like everybody that you meet. You're not going to like everybody that you deal with. And you got to look for that people are willing to give and take.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to make everybody happy,
Right.
but that doesn't mean that you got to make everybody miserable either. You got to find that middle ground and you got to try to play nice with everybody and say, yeah, I want to do this for you, But if you're going to be a jerk about it, well, then you can go on your own and try to survive. And when you don't, oh well. I was there. You said no. You slapped my hand away. It's the way it is. I'm not going to force you to say, hey, you got to follow my advice or do what I do or anything like that. No, everybody's their own person, and you got to be able to say, yeah, I know when I got to go this way or I got to stop doing this. It's like this. I've got 4 more years left of selling because I figure 50 years is more than enough. And I've had a few people, well, what are you going to do after that? I'll find something else to do. This isn't my life. It's a part of it, but I can stop going to the toy stores and getting all the catalogs from all these companies and just say, yeah, okay. I'll look at the stuff and say, oh, that's nice. Yeah, but you can't have it all and you can't do it all. And you can't, just like you can't make everybody happy. So I just say, hey, I come in, when I go in and say hi to people and everything in these chats and all that, and if they say hi back, then fine. If they don't, I say, okay, I guess nobody likes me here. And I don't worry about it.
Who has made the biggest impact on your life? Who? I've asked you what, but I'm asking you who.
Nobody.
No one.
No. I found that unfortunately, with me, a lot of the stuff I've done was because I made that decision. Nobody else was there to say, you should do this or you should do that and, come and do this with us and everything. No, I got presented with stuff and I either said yes or no. And it was me who said it. And some stuff, yeah, I regret and everything. And it's like everybody else. You say, oh, I should have done this. Oh, I could have done that. And, but that's why they call it life. And
Do
it's
you
all
have
different things.
Do you have a reoccurring dream?
Yeah, that I'm stuck in your chat. No. No.
See the box?
Yes, I know it's in that box. I've seen you give it out to a lot of other people.
And it's not malasadish, but it's. Do I need to leave the box out, Jerry?
You might as well just have a bigger box. No, I don't have a reoccurring dream. It's just no. I don't have anything that says, oh, I should have been doing this, and it's like no, it's just dreams, and because my mind is forever, especially at night. I hate going to bed at night. Sometimes I don't go to sleep till like about 1 a.m. because my brain is just going, and it's like, how about this? Especially doing the writing for the scripts. My brain starts saying, oh, you should have done this. Oh, you should have done. So next thing you know, I'm getting up and I'm back at the computer and I'm like, okay, change it. No, okay. And the next thing I'm like, it's 2:30 in the morning and I got to get up to bring the little guy to school. Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Now, because I hear you talk a lot about your son. It's your son.
Yep.
And how old is he?
He's 14, going to be 15 next month.
He's 14. And he must bring smiles to your heart.
Oh, he makes me laugh, that child. Yeah, we'll do a lot of stupid things, and the wife will just look and say, two morons. I got two morons in the house.
Would you consider him your best friend?
For down here, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. It's just that they're all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I've got, like I was just on the phone yesterday because unfortunately, one of my best friends, his son just passed away from cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He called me up to say, that he passed away and everything. And we were on the phone for like an hour and a half, just shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
And then I have another friend that's from Fairhaven that, he calls every once in a while and we shoot the breeze. And then, like I said, then I got from New York, California, so I've got people all over. It's just that nobody's here. But if you say close by, yeah, that's that terror that's back there in his back room over there.
So do
We'll
you
go up
have
and we'll do crazy stuff. Like I'll say, hey, come on, we're gonna go to Universal today. Okay, and we'll go do a bunch of stupid rides and everything and have a ball for the day and just be laughing our butts off and everything. And then we come home and it's like, what'd you do? And be like, nothing. She's like, spent a lot of money for doing nothing, didn't you? It's like, yep.
so how did you meet your wife?
That was back in the day when you had the internet with the chat rooms.
Oh yeah.
And I came home from work one time, did some stuff, and then I said, all right. And I went in the chat room. And of course, she says it to this day that I lied to her because the first thing that I saw typed by was she says, I want to speak to somebody normal. So I sat there and I went, I'll say hi. So I said hi, and we ended up just chit chatting and everything. And so she says, you lied to me from day one. You are not normal. I said, define normal. Compared to me, all the rest of you people are crazy. I'm the normal one. So, but that's
So
how we ended up meeting, and then ended up hello buying space, and anybody else that came in that I missed.
hi Myra. Yes.
And then I ended up going over to the Philippines, and we got married over there and everything.
How long did it take?
7 months.
7 months.
Yeah, and then I went over there, and she wanted to get married on September 11th, and I said no. We already had one disaster that day. We don't need another.
How would your son describe you?
That's something you'd have to ask him, but I'm sure that he would say that there's nothing in the world that I wouldn't do for him, and that I'm always there for him.
Yeah,
If he
that's how
wants
I meant to say
something,
it. How do you think your son would describe you? That's
yeah,
how
it
I
would
meant.
be that if he, he knows that if he needs something, whatever it is, he can come to me and say, I can ask him, and he's going to do his best to take care of it and get it done. Like, because he wants to be a film editor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he's learning. Because, like I said, he's the one that designed the whole new web page and everything. He's the one that does all that stuff. I don't. Um, but all the equipment that he's getting is okay. You need this, all right, go buy it. He's like, well, it costs this. I'm like, I don't care. You need it, get it. I want to make sure that whatever your dream is, it's going to happen. It's not going to be because something held you back. And I can give up not buying a toy or a statue or a bunch of movie posters just so that way you can get what you need to make your life better. Because all that other stuff I can get any other time. I don't care. Once you miss that move to get to where you want to be in life, if you miss out on that, a lot of times it's hard to go back because how it is. You say, oh, I'll take care of it tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into a week turns into 6 months, 6 months turns into 2 years. It's like, oh, shoot, where did the time go?
Right.
Now you missed out on stuff that you should have done that because you either procrastinated or hesitated on taking that jump. Hello, Sandy. You lose out on those things, and I know a lot of that from experience because I gave up some stuff that that if I had done it, I probably wouldn't even be here right now.
What did you give up?
Well, one of them was the guy that plays Jason from the Friday the 13th movies.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Kane Hodder. He's Christopher's godfather. Had to throw that in. But he came into North Dartmouth one time. He came in one time to do a stunt show on stage at North Dartmouth College. So I went down to go see him. So we ended up shooting the breeze afterwards. And he asked me, he says, you've got a nice physique and everything, and you look like, do a roll for me. So I like, what? And he said, do a roll on the ground for me. So I did a roll. We went up on the stage and I did a roll. And he said, wow. He said, well, you want to come on tour with us? We could use an extra guy. And I was like, because of things that went on, I backed off and says, I made excuses. Nah, I'm still in college. I'm doing, so I didn't do it. And I've regretted that because I said I could have been way back in the 80s. I could have been doing stunts and all that and being in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So is that one of your that is one of your biggest regrets? Did you
well,
want
it's
to be
stuff
an
like
actor?
that. That, like I says, it's stuff that does come up that you say, I could have done this. I
Mm-hmm.
could have done that.
Did
Same
you
as
want to be an actor?
what?
Did you want to be an actor?
No. I hate being in front of the camera. I hate the sound of my voice. And I hate the way I look. I'm like, I wouldn't look at me. I'm like,
Oh God, stop. So
that's me. But see, Paul Newman's the same way. He was the same way. He always said that he wouldn't go to the premieres because he couldn't stand seeing him up on screen, himself on screen, and hearing his voice.
so what was the best advice that you've ever been given?
Was to just do what you want to do and be damned with what other people say about it. So, and that helped me to go and travel and everything. Because a lot of times it was, I'd be with somebody and I would say, well, we're going to go here. No, I don't want to go. So then I end up staying. And it's like, well, then later on, you're like, I should have went. I missed out on this. I missed out on that. And even if it's like, okay, we're going to go up to Maine, well, I didn't go because they didn't want to go. So I stayed home. So it got to the point that I'd hop in the car. I'd take off on my own. And that's what made friends afraid because they'd always look and see how much gas I had in the car. Because one time we just hopped in the car one time and drove from Salem all the way up to the Canadian border. My friends were like, what did we do this for? I said, I was bored.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but you say you did it, It's like when I drove back and forth from Boston to Texas 3 times. It was for being on the boat, but it was like, okay, we drove the car from there down to there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we came a different way. Okay, now we go a different. But if I didn't say yes that I would do those things, then I would miss out on it. So it's like, no. Someone says, yeah, let's go do. Okay, let's go. It's like, oh, we're gonna go here. Okay, let's go. How about doing this? All right, let's go. That's why
Jerry,
also like when they say, oh, you want to go out on the sky bridge? Yeah, let's go. Like,
Jerry,
what?
are you a romantic person?
No.
Do you like having people do things for you?
No. I don't want to. I don't want people going out of their way because it got a lot of times it was they did it basically because they wanted a favor, and I'm like, no, you don't do that. I says if you're at a store or something and you see something that you say I would like, you're either going to pick it up because you're going to say here you go and oh I found this for you, here it is.
What is the
But if they
sweetest,
turn around and say, well, remember that time when I bought you those things? It's like I never asked you to.
Jerry, what is the sweetest thing your wife has ever done for you?
The sweetest thing she ever. Yeah, I know. I don't know where these questions are coming from either, Jack. Um, for my birthday one time, she did a video with a lot of my friends, whether they were celebrities or not. She had them all come on and wish me happy birthday. That was unexpected because when she said that, because her and Chris Trickley, they said they're going to do a karaoke thing on my birthday. And that's all they kept saying. And then my brother and sister-in-law, who live like an hour away, they came here with their kids and all that. So we came upstairs here and she put it up on the thing. And it was like,
How did that make you feel?
I was proud that, that she went out of her way and found these people. I mean, even though she knows a lot of them, just as well as I do, but she went and said, let me get these people to do this. It wasn't anything that I asked her for or anything. She just went and said, oh, let me get these people. And it was like, okay. And one of them she got at the last minute, which was for the new Godzilla movie, the guy that plays Godzilla, she got him that very morning. And while we were doing stuff downstairs, Christopher was editing it in his bedroom to put it on the thing. So it was like, and he was often, I think, in Indonesia at the time filming, but he took the time out to do that for me. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. So
Now, let me ask you, did those people ever come back and say, "Well, I did this for you"?
no, see, and that's like I says, that's that's the difference is when you turn around and say, I did this. It was fun. We had a ball, whatever. I'm not looking for nothing out of it. Yes, I haven't forgot to pay the storage unit. Um, and that's what I mean. You get some people though that, like I said, like I'll pick you up something and I'll say, here you go, Susan. I thought you would like these things. And
Mhm.
then like a week or two later or a month later, say, well, gee, how come you can't do nothing for me? I did those things for you. And it's like, well, no, that's not friendship.
Right.
Friendship is, you just say, oh, here, oh, I know you like these monster stickers. Oh, I found a whole bunch of them. Here you go. It's like, what do you want from? Nothing. Happy birthday. And that's
No
it.
strings attached.
Yeah, no strings attached. But a lot of times people will say, oh no, like I've had some friends that like because of the shows, they only want to come because I have passes. And it's like they'll come see me and then I don't see them the rest of the time. And then they'll leave and they never even say that they were leaving. So it's like,
Mhm.
what the hell is that? You know? It's like you can at least come by and tell me that, hey, we're out of here. Thanks for the passes. But, so it's like, no. So
What is your philosophy on life?
have fun, but try not to hurt other people while doing it. You can have fun. It's like when I tease you and I say, where's my massage? For Christ's
Yeah,
sake, I could have walked back over there and got him and everything,
right.
and we all have a laugh over
It
it.
is.
And it's like,
It's
okay, that's fine, you
right.
know, because it's not like I need to put on any more weight. So I'm not worried about having the massage, but it's, you joke back and forth. You're
Absolutely.
having fun. Nobody's getting harmed over it. If
Right.
someone takes offense, I look at them and say, get a life,
Mhm.
enjoy yourself, don't be so miserable all the time, you know.
Exactly.
And you also have to realize that the world isn't all about you. You have to be there for others, and it doesn't matter what it is. You got to like in for our relationship. I'm not a sports person. Hands down, anybody who knows me will tell you, no, Cherry has basically no clue about sports. And it's like last weekend, because she likes Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. So I told her that, oh, the game is on at 1 o'clock. Turns out the game was on at 4:30. Hey, but at least I knew it was on that day, so I get points for that. But
Right.
it's like at least you try, and you watch out for others. And it's the same thing like if you say, "Well, gee, I'm looking for this toy, I can't find it," or "I'm looking for this book, I can't find it." Well, if in my travels I find it, I'll text you and say, "Suzanne, is this what you're looking for?" And you say, "Oh my God, you found it!" And it's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah." Say, "Okay, got it for you, and I'll put it in a box. I'll send it to you." You know, and it's not killing you to, to take care of, to be watchful and say that, yeah, I'm going to be there if you need me. I'll do my best and just it is what it is. And, you know, like I said, it's like same thing like when you say, like, well, what should I sell? Because I'm not making that many sales. Try this. Remember, the key word is try. Some people they just jump right in and buy 10 tons. It's like, no, no, no. Buy a small amount. Try the small amount first. If it works, next time you get a little bit more. Next time you get a little, and and I'm not expecting you to come back and say, gee, it's the greatest thing that you ever did for it. It's like, no, I'm glad because I've said it at the shows, and a lot of the dealers would tell you, I've said it to them. There can be 1,000 dealers at that show, and I've said it. I want to see everybody make money. We all deserve a slice of the pie. Same thing like at these, no problem, Sandy. I don't know what I made right, but I guess I made something right. Um, you know, it's even like being on these auctions when you get a whole bunch of, people in the auction, that are all selling. I don't want to have it just be me making money because where's where's the fun in that? People are going to be miserable, and you don't want that. I want people to, be laughing and having a good time throughout the whole auction, and everybody's making some money. And I'm like, fine. I'm happy that everybody made some money. Yeah, you brought on 20 items, 16 of them sold, the other ones didn't. I'm like, hey, it's, but at least 16 sold. You made some money. Be a happy person. If not, I'll throw you out the window, and you make a joke about it and everybody laughs. And, but it's still that way. I want everyone to get a slice of that pie because we all work hard about it.
What is something that you want us to know about you that we don't know?
Nothing. What I keep private is what I keep private. And it's there for a reason. And it becomes too long of a thing that if I brought it out. But then again, also part of it would also tell you why I'm the way I am, which is like anything else, what happens in your life is what shapes you.
Absolutely, it
But
does.
I tried to get away from that bad part to stay with the good part because you got 7 days out of the week. If 6 days are good and one day is bad, what are you bitching and moaning about? You had one bad day. Unless if your arms and legs got lobbed off, it was just you didn't get this toy at the auction or at the store or whatever, or it's raining today and you can't go out and plant petunias in your garden. It's like, so what? It's one day out of 7. Be happy, that everything else went good. You didn't have a bad day, every day. There are some people that they have crappy days, 6 days out of the week and one good day. So say, hey, I had 6 good days, one bad. I like that a lot better than this one.
Okay, I'm gonna get really real right now. Okay. And this right here, I'm throwing to the side. Jerry, to me, it seems like all the questions I'm asking you, it's like you don't want us to really know who you are deep down inside. You kind of avert them and then you go back to your stuff, everything that you have. And hold on, what you have is totally amazing. And my heart, honestly, is going out to you because apparently we're not going to go there. I know that there's something there that you don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something that happened that.
And it's like you're trying to keep it aside. And I get it. And 100%, I get it. I really do. But my heart is literally going for you because I literally feel the pain.
No, there's no pain. The
I
pain is
do. I
gone
feel
now.
it.
The pain is gone now. It's just like I said, it's stuff that happened that really shouldn't have, and it made me take a step or two back and say, so this is the way it is. Good to know. Now that I know what the ground rules are, I know where to go from there. And that's what I've done. And that's where I came up with the thing when I say, oh, you don't like me? One less birthday and Christmas card I got to worry about.
Mhm.
Even my lawyer at the time, when he asked me the question, and I sat there in the chair and I went, it's one less birthday and Christmas card I got to worry about. And he looked at me and burst out laughing. He says, I like that. I'm going to keep that and tell that to my other clients, and it's just like I said, it set the tone that I now said, okay, this is what I got to do. This is the way it's going to work. Fine. I have no problem with it now that I know the rules. That's
Mhm.
all I say. You tell me the rules, I'll go by them. You don't tell me the rules, then don't get mad at me later on.
Mhm.
So it's that happened. I go on from there and I say, yeah, there's some things that you say that if this were still there, it would change this a bit.
Mhm.
But when you step, like I says, and I've told this to people, when you're not sure about something, you're not sure about somebody, whatever it is, stop, take a step or two back. And I mean, take a step or two back and look at the big picture, not just what's in front of you.
Right.
Look at the big picture and say, well, this happened. Oh, and they or that was involved. Okay. Oh, this happened. They or that was involved again. This happened. Oh, they or that are involved again. Well, it seems like whenever they or that are involved, crap happens. So,
Mhm.
guess what? Get rid of that. Next thing you know, when you do take a step back, you can look at the picture and say, I got to do this, this, this. They or that didn't stop me because I sidetracked them. I
Mhm.
said, I don't care what they say or do. I sidetrack it and I move on from there because now I know the rules. The rules say that if I have them or that in my life, it's going to screw things up. So get rid of them. And then guess what? Like I said, I love to travel. Give me a full tank of gas, pocket full of money, a couple of $100. I don't care. You want to drive for 8, 10 hours? Let's get in the car. Let's go. Ain't doing anything anyway. Let's go. But there were people that were like, I don't want to do that. So I stayed home and I missed out on things. Not me calling, but if it's my wife, tell her I'm not home.
Hide under
So
my bed.
you end up missing out on things. And when you step back and you look and you say, wow, I could have went and did this, whether it's going to New York and looking at the Statue of Liberty, looking at the World Trade Center, when it was still there. But because, you know, you did something wrong and something was in your way that kept you from going, you didn't go, or somebody that said that, yeah, we'll go. And then they kept saying, no, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to. So you never went. So now you miss out. Like my wife and son, I've taken them to New York lots of times. They've never seen the Empire State. I mean, they never saw the World Trade. They never saw Statue of Liberty. They never saw the UN building. Out of all those, the only thing that I didn't see on all my travels to New York is going to the Statue of Liberty. But I've been at the World Trade. I've been at the UN, Empire State, Rockefeller Center. We've done Times Square New Year's Eve, the wife and I, 3 times. So we've done those things because why? Other people say, oh, why are you doing that? So no, most people say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to stay home. But then you sit there and you watch it. Oh, I would love to be there. Then go. Nobody's stopping you but you. And
Right.
if you let other people or other things dictate to you, next thing you know, you're going to sit there 20 years from now and say, I didn't do nothing. It's like I said, people half my age haven't even traveled as much as I have. I used to work with people at the school department that were at the time older than me. The furthest they've ever been was New Hampshire. And I look at them and I say, New Hampshire? You never gone up to Maine? No. Why not? One day. But I'm like, they're already in their late 50s. It's like, you're never going to go to Maine. It's like, how can you lead such a. I'm like,
So
there's a great big world out there to see.
there is. There is. So
So
where's
why would you want to sit at your house and say, I'm not going to go do that? It's like, no, get off that.
well, everyone is different. Everyone, there's
Yeah,
people that like to travel,
everyone
there's
is
that don't
different,
like to
but a
travel.
lot of people that when they say, yeah, I like to travel and do something, you say, well, let's go do this. No, don't say that
So
you like to
where's
travel.
one place on this beautiful earth that you've been to that has made you the happiest?
Like I
Jerry the
said, it's when I
happiest.
travel. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be if I'm in England. It could be if I'm in Louisiana. It could be if I'm up in Maine. Traveling, because it's always that expectation of what am I going to find? What am I going to see? So you don't know. And it's the different people that you're going to run. Like one time, because we were goofs when we were young, I'd be riding with my cousin, and there'd be a couple others in the car, and we just go riding around. And if it's like summertime or whatever, and you're riding down the street, and you got the people sitting out on their porches, right? we'd beep the horn and wave at them, hey, hey, and drive by. We'd make sure we came back that way, like half an hour later. And if we saw them there, we'd beep the horn again and we'd be waving at, because we know they're like, who the hell are those people? We just be laughing our butts off because it's just something stupid to do. But you went somewhere different and you had fun, you know.
So those are really good, really great childhood memories right there that you're saying that because that's fun,
Yeah,
you
because like I
know.
said, you do goofy things like that, and you're like, okay, it's so like I said, like when you say, all right, I'm gonna walk from here to downtown. How far is that? That's half an hour, and you're talking, an 8, 10-year-old kid, which back in the, you're not gonna see these kids do that because they're gonna get grabbed. But back then, when I grew up,
We could.
we were able to do that stuff.
So tell me, in your travels all the way around the world that you've traveled, who, what memory comes to you of a person that you met that you thought, what an amazing soul, and what did they do to impact you?
There's a lot of them. It's like I said, I've met so many people that have done so many things, and you look at them and you're like, wow, that's awesome. You did that, and you went here and did this, and that's cool. And then you go somewhere else and you meet, and it's like, wow, you're doing this. That's awesome. So it's a little bit of everybody. It's even like what you're doing and what a lot of these other people. You look and you say, even the wife has said it. Who would have thought 5 years ago if you had told people that they were going to be sitting in front of their computer screen selling stuff and chit chatting with people? You'd be like, I ain't going to be doing that. What are you, nuts? But yet, here you are doing it. She'd say, wow, look at that. Look how you went from here to up there and you're doing this now. And I give high marks. And, when these people say, oh, I can't do that, it's like, anybody can do it. It just takes, like I says, the willpower to say, let me get over that hump of whatever's keeping you from getting over that hump. Because once you get over it, then you're like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I'm here. I'm doing it. It's nothing new. It's like even like doing shows and everything. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm doing shows, whatever. It's nothing new. I've done it so long. It's like blah. I do it because it gives me something to do, keeps me off the streets.
So who's the one person that you can talk to about anything and keep you?
Wife,
Yeah.
her and I always chit chat, which is always a plus two with a relationship because as long as you keep it open and you chit chat and you have fun and everything, you don't, like I said, you don't take everything serious and because you're supposed to be having fun. You can't be miserable your entire life. I've tried it. It doesn't work.
So give me a, for instance, that it has happened. Where did you take your wife on a date to? Just you and your wife that you just wanted to make her happy. What did you do?
It's a lot of places. I've taken her to New York because she's always wanted to see New York. Let me see. I take her to the outlet stores. She loves the outlet stores because she gets that. And she always wanted like an original Louis Vuitton bag or a Tory Burch. And I take her to the places. Here you go. She's like, and
So
then it's
is
like,
that how?
I'm like, buy something. Make yourself happy.
So is that how you express your love?
No, that's a private thing. But I mean, it makes her happy. And then, like I says, it's, you know, I I do my part around the house, whether it's cleaning, cooking, whatever. And I make sure that they're safe all the time. So I'm always, and they both know, like I said, that I'm always there for them. They need me. It's like, no, it ain't. Like if his school called up right now, I'd end this right now and I'm there
A
at his
hundred
school.
percent.
Same thing like with if she was at her job and something happened. No, I'm there. It's like, okay, I'm there. I drop everything for them too. And that's it. And that's what
How do
they,
you how do you feel loved?
as long as they don't disrespect me and and they don't talk down to me, I'm like, that's fine. I know that they're there for me too, and because, like I says, it works both ways. So I'm like, as long as I know that she's there and she's gonna stand by me, like we're doing the filming when we got the opportunity to make our first movie last year, she was like, "Do it, let's do it," and that was it. And boom, we jumped in and we did it, and now the movie's done. Now it's being edited and all that other stuff. So, because I was actually talking with the director earlier this week about stuff and everything, and so we did all that. So we will drop a bombshell now on that.
Wait a minute.
No, we're gonna drop it.
No, not just yet.
Yes, just yet, right now.
Not yet.
Yes,
Hold on.
yes.
No, hold on. What do you think about when you're by yourself?
I think about a lot of things. Like I said, it all depends. I mean, I could be thinking about the newest script I'm working on, what I'm going to be making for dinner. If there's a show coming up that I got to get things ready for, what do I got to do? It's depends on the situation.
There's two questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
Two.
Yes, I'm
What has given you?
and no, it's not yours.
What has given you the biggest adrenaline rush in your life? Made your heart pitter-patter like it was coming out of your chest?
Well, that would be like when I was younger and when I was first dealing with all the celebrities, especially when you meet, your childhood idols, like being with William Shatner from Star Trek, and hanging around with him. It's like, oh my God, it's William Shatner from Star Trek, or Jonathan Frid, who played Barnabas from Dark Shadows. It was like so exciting that I got to be his bodyguard for a weekend. Not just I got to see him, I got to be his, so it's like, oh, this is, and, but then, like I said, but then it's like, okay, it is what it is. Then, of course, getting married to the wife, is like all excitement. It's like, oh, look at this. I'm being stupid and I'm going to get married to this crazy Filipino woman. And
what's your favorite cartoon character?
My favorite cartoon character? There's so many of them.
That you associate yourself with?
Bugs Bunny.
Why?
Well, aside from because well, for one, he's always getting into trouble for saying the wrong thing, so that's me. Because I know the wife is hearing all this, and she's gonna whack me upside the head later. So there's that, and the wisecracks, of course, because it acts as a defense mechanism, and just that you just want to be nutso and crazy and just go out and have a good time, which is what he does. He'll just say, okay, I'm going to go do this. And off he goes. And this happened. Oh, shoot. It's like, okay, how are we going to make the best of it? And you go from there.
That's awesome. So, Jerry, brings us to what you have to tell us. And if you all know that he's always here with us. Jerry had this great, huge adventure that he went over to California. Letting you talk. What do you need to tell us about this movie?
We are this year going to make 2 films. Not one, we're doing 2.
Really?
Yes, and I am directing the short movie that we're going to do. So we are going to direct, I'm going to direct my first short movie. Mm-hmm. We're going to start location scouting soon. So that's going to keep me busy. And then I got to start hiring the actors for that. And then we're going to shoot our full feature film. That's going to be all this year.
The one that you just did in September that you went to California.
Yes.
Where is the works on that? What's going on with that one?
That's him. That's me.
Is that you?
That's me. I play one of the aliens and I get killed. Spoiler.
Why did you have to say that?
That's okay. I don't mind getting killed. It's fun.
So do we know the name?
Alien Planet.
And when is it coming out?
Hopefully, middle of this year. It all depends, like I said, with the editing and the effects and everything that got to get put into it and all that. So,
So cool.
yep. So, but that's why this week I was chit chatting with, excuse me, some people, and so we're gonna direct our first short, which is gonna be about 12 minutes long, something like that. And
Oh,
I'm
like
gonna
a little.
direct it.
Oh, you're gonna do a direct. You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
direct
direct it.
a
Yep.
short
I'm
clips
gonna
of it.
direct a short movie, and then after that, we're gonna tackle the full feature one because there's been interest in it. So we're gonna tackle that,
Nice.
and we're gonna see where that goes. And that's what we're gonna be doing this year. That's gonna be our big. That's our big project for this year.
Now, is it going to be in theaters?
It depends. Once it's all done, then we talk with the distributors and all that, and whoever company picks it up, then that's up to them. So it
Okay.
might just be a Netflix thing or you know, HBO Max or whatever. So whoever buys it, whoever gives us that money, because that's the way it works. Especially
So
nowadays. 20 years ago, it would have been direct to theaters because that's all there was. But
yeah.
now you got Netflix and Hulu and all those other ones.
Huh.
Okay, Sandy. Uh,
Elbow cough. Why?
she's just like, yeah. So,
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
she's just being silly, which is fine. But I mean, but see, it's like that. That when it came along, like I said, we know the director and everything, and it was like, hey, and then he's like, well, you want to work on it, you want to, help fund the movie and produce it. So it was like, okay. So we stood back, and we talked about it. And we were like, all right, let's do it. What the hell? We ain't doing nothing else. We'll do that. Then it was like, then they're like, oh, you want to come and be one of the aliens on the set? Yeah, sure. But this is what I mean. See, 30 years ago, I probably would have said, no, I'm good. And I would have missed out on it. But now it's, oh, no, you want to? Yeah, I'll go do that. That's okay. That's
so
fine.
back then you were your own worst enemy.
Yeah, because of stuff that happened and everything. So, yeah, you turn around and say, well, I'm not going to do that. As much as you want to do it, it keeps you from doing it. But now that I got over that hump, it's like, no. It's like, yeah, okay, we're going to go do this. Okay, fine. You don't care? Nope. You're going to be in makeup for 2 hours. Okay. And then you're going to do this. Okay. Then you're going to have blood shooting out from you. Okay. That sounds cool. Let's do it.
It's
And they're like, what
definitely
the hell? You don't, it's
it's
like, nope, I don't
definitely
care.
memories. It's definitely memories that you're going to have later on in life that you could say, once you have grandchildren, if you do have grandchildren, hey, look what grandpa did, or look what I did. And,
But that's
you
it,
know,
and then I can always tell them, if your crazy grandpa can do this, you can do what you want to do.
exactly.
Nobody's stopping you but you. When you let other people, you already have my autograph, Sandy.
So,
Once you have somebody stopping you, have nobody to blame but yourself, because you're going to be the one that sits back, like I said, 5 years from now and say, damn, I could have done that. Oh, I could have done that. Oh, shoot, I could have done that. And who's to blame for most of that? It's usually you,
mhm.
because you don't want to take that step. And a lot of times, yeah, it's because you're not with somebody that says, come on, let's go do this. Whether it's get on a big roller coaster, that hangs you upside down and everything. Yes, that's the movie, Kathy.
So when I know this is the last thing, and then we're going to go into the chat. And if anybody has any questions, they can ask you. So when you go on, when you pass away, how do you want to be remembered?
I never.
How do you want to be remembered? What do you want people to say about you?
Well, hopefully something good. But I mean, they're going to say what they're going to say, and I can't stop them. And because some people are going to say he was a jerk, and some people are going to say,
How do you want to be remembered?
that at least that I was there if you needed me. That if you said, hey, we can count on Jerry, that if, we need someone to help us, set up at a show or something or whatever, he's willing to pitch in and without, no hesitation. Or if we need to go somewhere, yeah, he says he'll drive and, he's there. If we need him, he's there. And we don't have to worry about, gee, he's going to ask for something in return because he's like, I don't go away from me. I don't want that. You needed someone to drive you, up to Boston for a lot. Here, get in the car. Let's go. You needed, someone to help you empty out your house. Let's go. I'll help you the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
Want me to show up on your show like this? Fine. Just ask me. If I'm not doing nothing, I'll be here. And here I am. Should have said I was doing something.
I just want to say thank you so much, Jerry, for allowing me to do this. I really, really honestly appreciate it.
No
And
problem.
I have learned a lot more about you. And I'm not just talking about things that you've done, it's who you are to me, because that's what matters to me is who you are in your heart and how you look at life and how you feel.
Well, it's like I said, you can't look at it with rose-colored glasses because it's not always that way. Sometimes, things and people are just awful, and it is what it is, and you move on from it. And sometimes it's the best thing you ever saw going. And like I said, I don't do it to pat myself on the back and to say, see how much better my life is compared to you. It's like, no, I'm not here to play that game or anything. It's like I said, if you guys were here and you don't ask about any of this stuff, I'm not going to talk about this stuff. You say, oh, we're here because, we're going to hang out with you for the day. We're going to barbecue on the grill and then we're going to go to Universal or Disney or what. It's like, fine. You don't want to talk about movies. I'm great with that, Or if you say we're going to come here because we want to look at all your stuff and look at all the, fine, that's what you want to do. Knock yourselves out, It's whatever you want. I'm not going to stop because, like I said, that's not the right thing to do. You don't go and say, come over and do this and then not do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. It's like almost like a tease. It's like, oh, I'll show you this and say, oh, see, and I know her. I've known her for like 30 some odd years, and she's been in James Bond movies and everything, and she's a big actress, and it's like, ha ha ha. It's like, no, I don't do that. It's like, what am I gonna do that for? It's like, no, I'd rather say, see what I got? Ain't that cool? Whoops, where is it? There it is. Oh, it's Bugs Bunny and Superman. Yeah. And then I go, you know, and
All
I'll do
right,
that
guys.
when you're gone. I'll just be here, and the wife will say, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like nothing. And she's like, "You're an idiot," And it's like you gotta have fun in life. It's like even like my Godzilla on a skateboard. Yeah, See, it's
And
keep
that
myself
concludes my
amused.
part of the interview. So if anyone has any questions, we're going to open up for about 10 minutes and then we're going to go. So if you guys have any questions for our Jerry, that would be awesome. In the meantime, Jerry, tomorrow you're having a huge
Yep, we're
auction.
doing another clean out,
That's right.
and we're gonna have another mystery tote. Yeah, the wife said the last one went so good that she said to get another, just grab the tote. And as you saw, if you watched Cajun's channel this morning, I was at the storage unit and I went way in the back and I pulled out one of the totes. So I don't know what's in it, which is, I hope it's, like I said, if it's not personal stuff, anything that's in the tote is going to be for sale. And
Oh, it's almost like a JJ unboxing.
almost. Um, and I also found some more Disney stuff that's exclusive to Disney. So I'm going to be putting that stuff out. And we're also doing that. Everybody who buys something at the auction will get put into a drawing. And we've got a 16 by 10 mystery box that they'll get for free.
That was weird.
I didn't do it.
It sounded like somebody just came up and walked up on the side of me. Oh.
No, it wasn't me. I was over here.
So are there any questions, guys? Oh, let's see. Papa Ron is here. Good morning, my winking
Hello,
Ron.
Ron.
And Pam. Oh my
Pam's here.
God.
Pam. And
Pam is going
Pam's
to
got a
have her
show
first
on
auction.
Sunday. Her first
Yes.
auction.
On Sunday. I'm super excited. I have my reminder on. I put it on as soon as she put it out there. I went to go set my reminder. Cannot wait. Her own. Amazing. Super stoked. Sandy is here. Good morning, Sandy.
Sandy's been here.
I know. I'm just saying hi now.
Cody's here.
Cody, my beautiful, sweet Cody. And we got Glenn. I know, Glenn, it's a ghost. And I'm by myself, so that's not going to help me. I'm going to start crying and screaming.
Nah.
And we have Stitchin. Hey, Stitchin, how are you, honey?
See, no questions. Nobody wants to know anything.
Let's see. I think you went through a lot with us today, which is amazing. I think that was it. Yeah.
See, nice and easy. Nobody wants to know nothing.
We got Card Shop. Hey, Card Shop, how are you? Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Kathy. Drop the link.
Drop it.
Drop it, baby. Drop it.
100%. Yes. Definitely. Will you be auctioning at this year or too busy? Will you be auctioning at this year or too busy?
No, I'll get in some auctions here and there, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. I'll get some stuff done, and because we still got to clean out that storage unit. It's too big. So
I want to, Cody says,
drop
I
your
want to
link,
play at
Pam.
Jerry's house. Just remember my pockets were full when I got there.
Until she. This is why they hate me, see? Because then you say, oops, not that one. But, ooh, Lady Death, Cody, ooh, and they're signed, ooh.
Why are you teasing her?
Because it's fun.
You're like one of those little kids. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
That's right. See? Like I said, you got to have fun.
All right.
Yeah, like I said, I just go about, do my business, and try to be nice to everybody. You're going to get some people that they're just not going to like me for whatever reason. And now, like I say, it is what it is. I'm not going to please everybody. Not going to make everybody happy.
So there is Scrap It with Matt, an auction tonight at 8 p.m. So there's that auction that's happening. Countess April has an auction today as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's January. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say.
Nice to you, Cody. That's it. I'm putting aside all that Star Wars stuff that you like.
And there's Pam's. Make sure everyone hit that link. Go put the reminder on. And Jerry, too. Jerry, what time is your auction? 12?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock tomorrow.
Yep. The last one was at 12. This one's only going to be at 1. And we're going to run it for about 4 to 5 hours. Not as long as the last one.
You say that now.
Yeah, I know. But once I get into that selling mode, it's fun. And because I enjoy it.
Is anyone selling with you tomorrow or just you?
No. The next one will be somebody selling with me.
Oh.
So I'll have to dig up a candidate.
You haven't digged up a candidate yet?
No, because right now I got to see where all this other stuff is going first.
Okay.
Because my auction wasn't supposed to be till February, but people got mad that I was doing it in February. So I said,
Make it good.
Yeah.
Make it a good person.
Who's a good person?
Everyone's a good person.
Yeah. And so I said, all right, we'll move it to January, which was good because, like I said, now we got the filming that's going to be a new fun thing for me to do. And that's the other thing that I like. It's like, it's not that this is boring. It's just that, okay, I've done this. I want to do something else now. Let me do something else, and I like I'm just hyper, as you can tell, because the way I keep moving. So
he's got ants
I gotta keep moving, and it's like, oh, I want to do this now. Okay, let's go do this now. Okay, let's do this now. And oh, I can go back and go do this. And oh, let me go back and do that. And and it's just all that kind of stuff. And it's just I like keeping busy. And so I'll do what I can do and show up when I show up and have
Mhm.
fun and still be a goof. And like I said, some people can like it, some people won't.
And that's okay.
Yeah, because you're not gonna, like I said, you're not gonna please everybody,
No,
and and it
no.
is what it is.
And that's
And
what that was one of the things that I think I've learned is you can't please everybody as much as you want to.
yep,
You
and
cannot
because
please.
all it does is what you end up doing is you end up pleasing that one, and you alienate five others.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd rather have just the one hate me than five. So guess what? If they can't get over what, and it's not to say that I'm the best thing in the world or anything, but if they can't get over that little bit of pettiness, then what does that say about them, first of all? And second of all, well, I'm not going to lose sleep over it because I didn't do anything wrong, so.
But
And,
I do want to say this, and this is totally I'm just putting it out there. But
hello, Janine.
if a person, right, if one person has a problem with this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one,
That's
right?
when you say it's got to be that one person.
It's that one problem. It's that one person. Maybe they need to change
But
their
see, they don't look at it that way because they don't want to, because it's never their fault.
we there's stuff that I know I work on every single day of me. And I'll work on it for the rest of my life. That there's always something that comes up.
Yeah. I
But
mean, like I said, not everybody is perfect,
yeah,
and you're not going to be right to everybody all the time,
no.
and you're going to be wrong. And if you have, the only way to put it, if you have the balls to turn around and say, I was wrong, now you're a better person because you went and said, I screwed up. I made the mistake. Sorry. Let's move on. But if you turn and say, wasn't my fault, I didn't do it, just because I said it, and blah, 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 no, that's not right. You can't do that,
Hey,
you know.
Janine. Mwah. Thank you, honey, for coming.
And,
And put a
when
check.
someone turns around and just says, oh, working lunch, Susan?
Absolutely, we can do a working lunch.
You
Well, what
know,
happened was we're doing okay, so everyone, this concludes our interview. Jerry, again, thank you so much.
no problem.
So
Just don't
appreciate
ask me
you.
again.
Was it that horrible?
Well, not one person asked me a question. See, I'm not interesting. And we just want to talk to interesting people because interesting people are just so interesting to talk to.
Can you
When you're
just
interesting, people are just so interesting to talk to and to
hold
be
on?
around. And then you just feel like you're interested in those interesting people.
Can you just look at it this way? Look at it the cup half full and say, you have given them so much that either one, you have answered all their questions, or two,
I
you
scared them
made
away.
them you made them lose their words.
Nah. Someone wants to know how much did I make on the movie. We haven't made anything yet because it's not been bought yet.
And
You got to wait till it gets bought, Emmaville.
Mville, not
Mville.
Emmaville. M-
Mville.
and we have Card Shop. Thank you. Thank you so
Hello,
much.
Card Shop.
We're listening to answer Susanna's questions. You know what? I'm going to look at the cup full because that means I asked you everything they wanted to know. How's that?
There you go.
Jerry, you're a treat in a good way.
Mville, no, that's just the way the business works. You don't get paid until once the movie gets bought.
Right?
I mean, unless if you're one of the actors on the set, which I was, but I wasn't. We're one of the associate executive producers. So we get our money is afterwards. We have to pay everybody first. So they get paid. We don't see nothing until the movie gets sold, and then when it gets distributed into DVDs and what have you, that's when we get our money. So
Are you
it's a
looking at
work
the
in
chat?
progress.
I'm trying to do something here. What? What?
What? What? Where? Who? When? Why?
I
Shh.
don't know. I don't know what happened.
What happened? Did I disappear?
No, I disappeared for a moment.
You did? I still see you.
I did. I did. Alrighty. I want to say thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You too. I'll say it was fun, but that's only because I want to be nice to you. You know I couldn't get out without a parting shot.
Hold on. Hold on.
I know, here comes my box again.
It's a box. And I'm not going to do it. From now on, all I'm going to do is show the box.
There you go.
No way. I love my Jerry. Thank you guys. And I'll see you guys later. I think I might going to pop back on in about maybe 15 minutes because we're going to do a working live. Rhonda is going to come on, I believe, Bonnie, because we need Bonnie to crack that whip while we work because I need to do some invoicing and shipping. So, and since I'm a procrastinator, that's the only way I can work.
I want that tattooed on my thigh.
Then I'm a procrastinator?
Yeah.
Guys, I love you all. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you all for coming in.
Mwah! We're back.
I kind of figured that.
Look, we're still live. Hello. You know I just can't leave and just leave, guys. You know me. Okay, we're really going to leave this time, right?
I guess. You tell me. I just work here.
All right. We're leaving. You have the
Okay.
afternoon off. Bye, guys.
Bye. I'm off like a prom dress.
Woohoo!